Hey everybody, I'm so excited that you're all here on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. I am currently on day 2 of the Shift Shop, and all I can say is get excited that this program is going to be amazing, and I think that all people can do it. There's a modifier on it, but Chris Downing is so incredibly encouraging and has just like wonderful cues. You can just follow him very easily, but he really cares about the whole person, kind of like Shanti. And I just get that vibe, and I'm just really pumped for you guys. So something I want to share with you that I've shared on social media is that I have struggled with meal plans. I have not struggled with completing or starting and finishing a program. Maybe you can relate to me, maybe you can't. But for me, to stick to the containers, like I could do really well from Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I would eat okay, but I wouldn't stick to the entire plan, the entire program. And so for me, this Shift Shop is really about the nutrition for me. The workouts are great. I'm not feeling insanely sore just because I feel like I've done hammer and chisel. I just finished with hammer and chisel, but they're good. Like I don't want to say I couldn't walk the other day, but like I could feel my glutes for sure. But what has been really wonderful is that meal plan. So I really invite you to have a gut check with, as far as your journey, what is it that you need to get better on? Is it having Shakeology on the weekends? I mean, it can be something so simple. Is it having more water throughout the day? So really identify with working out and nutrition. What is something that you're struggling with and that you can share with people? So I've been sharing that nutrition, and I even shared it with all of you guys in Team Happy and Fit, and everyone's like, okay, good. I'm not the only one. But I just want to be transparent about that. And I had a revelation, and some of you might have caught my live, that there's something different about this Shift Shop test group where it clicks for me that my journey isn't just about me. And I've always been about other people, but I think with my process of falling in love with working out and nutrition, I specifically made that about my journey and then just showed and shared people. But what I realized was, if I get results, if I share this process, and I'm not talking physical results, I'm talking a changed mentality, more discipline. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to mute. Okay. But I became aware that that's for the people I need to help. I know that if I go through this program, start to finish, and share my journey through it, someone else is going to do this program. And that's, maybe you've always thought like that, but I've thought, oh, I'll share my journey, and oh, I got off track, okay, I'll just get back on track. But I realized I need to start and finish this to a T for someone else. So my point to that is, I want you to reflect on that for you. I don't think that this journey is about getting a 6-pack. I don't think that this journey is about losing 30 pounds. I really don't think it's for the extremes. I really think starting and finishing a program with the nutrition and with the fitness is going to be more about the people you're serving, to share and show, I'm in the trenches with you. This is what I like. Like, I am not loving the sweet potatoes, you guys. I'm not a sweet potato person. I love myself some regular French fries. These sweet potatoes, like, I got to figure this out, but I'm going to suck it up, right? Having spinach in the morning with eggs versus my Shakeology, different. Yogurt, but it takes me forever to finish it, but I'm finishing it because I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about the people that are on this journey with me and that are going to do this program once I'm done. And that person might be you. It may not even be a future coach that is a PS of mine. It may not be a challenger with Success Club points for me. It might be simply you guys sharing my transformation through it to help someone. Does that make sense? So when you are doing your journey, I really invite you to have that gut check and really make it about them just as much as, yes, you need to be in and get fit in all areas of your life, right? But if you make it more about, man, I know I'm supposed to stick to this meal plan. Like, do I think that we should do that all year round? No, like, I definitely think you should deprive yourself. But I'm just saying 21 days of commitment, not that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal to someone else who really, really struggles. So that's my mind shift on that through this Shift Shop. And someone said in the group, they said, I loved what she said, and I think a lot of you can identify with that, is that she's like, I always use food to fill myself and not fuel myself. And I think we've all been there at some point. And I just loved that key phrase, and something that I want to talk about more, because I think that a lot of people do that. They just eat to fill and not to fuel. And I mean, that can be simply as going to the movie theaters and having a whole thing of Bunch of Crunch and Eric's Reese's Pieces. Oh, yep, I said Eric, that was me. Yep, like getting all this stuff, right? Where I was just doing it to fill myself. That was my dinner on Saturday. And I was like, starting the shift shop on Monday. But not cool. Like, I can have some of that, right? But like, I was literally using that as dinner. That's not going to fuel my body, right? But it's okay to have those indulgences. But I just wanted to share that with you, that maybe that would be a good mind shift if you think you don't need the containers, or think that you're fine with rocking one thing. But definitely make sure you get one of the two down, and then incorporate another once you feel very confident in the one area. So for me, working out, I have that down. I'm going to finish that. That's easy for me. What was hard for me was the meal plan, for sure. Hold on, I'm just going to mute. I'm so glad you guys are all on today. So I want to talk about objections, speaking with confidence, and social media. So the number one thing all people crave in life is connection. Would you agree? In life, we all crave connection. Your social media is that way of connection for people. And I was thinking about this at church, actually, because we were talking about connection, and that's how God designed us to be. And I really believe that. And so I took it a step further to just really think about my social media and posting and what I'm sharing. And some has more traction than others. That's just going to be how it is, right? Based on the time you're posting, what you're posting, and whatever. But my main objective with social media is connection, is honesty, is sharing my journey, unfiltered, raw, real, authentic. Some of you guys follow, a lot of you follow me. I know that you shouldn't be in the news feed. I know that I'm mostly your sponsor, but that doesn't mean you follow me all the time, right? I think it's good to put those blinders on. But that connection is what is going to help your social media soar. So what I want you to do is I want you to really reflect, how has my social media been? Am I posting to post to share my journey? Am I making it about me so then people get inspired, or am I making it about them? And it's kind of a two-way street a little bit, because you are sharing your journey. But if you are feeling like, so here's an example. You'll see people will comment below on my posts. It took a long time for me to get there. I would rather have comments than likes. The reason I would have more comments, because I feel, one, they're brave enough to comment below on my post. Two, they're feeling so connected to me that they're wanting to comment. How many of us just like posts, right? I do that. And I don't comment as much on it because it takes more time. But when people take the time to comment on your post, they're really connecting with you. So think about the posts that people are commenting on. Think about different avenues you can use that same post and post it other times. Do you have posts that invite people to comment? That call to action is huge on your social media. I was talking to Eric about this. Eric is starting to post more, and his posts are wonderful. And I said, I think it's time for you to start putting call to actions in there. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, when you share your dinner plate tonight, instead of just saying what you ate, say, if you are struggling with nutrition, like I had been, please message me or comment below. I would love to share with you how I'm doing this, or something along those lines. Invite people to reach out to you. Think about, do people ever reach out to you through Facebook Messenger because of a post you did? And if they did, what post was it that struck them? So then dig deeper. How can I continue to post like that, right? I went live yesterday and did the girl manifesto, the I Am That Girl manifesto. And a coach, actually it wasn't a coach, it was a former coach, messaged me and said, that made me cry. Can you please screenshot that manifesto and send it to me? it just struck me. And I said, absolutely. And I did. But the thing, you guys, is that connected with her. And I thought that was so incredibly powerful. So your social media, it's, yes, like bright pictures are wonderful. Great content is great. But at the end of the day, you are, there we go. Thank you so much. Oh, you're amazing. Thank you. We're into taking pictures of all of our food because of the Shift Shop. You should be on this call. I think I said that last time. All right, we'll see you there. But really think about your social media. Is it interacting with people? Are people interacting with it? And if it's not, it's kind of a gut check of maybe that's why I'm not getting to where I want to go. Do you guys have questions about social media? This is an open-ended Zoom where it's not formatted in the sense that I want to be talking all the time, but I really genuinely want to answer your questions and help guide you and mentor you and show you and share with you what works, what doesn't for me, but in hopes that that lights a spark for you. I think when you are the most raw, I'm not saying air your dirty laundry and all your past stuff. I just mean, man, I struggled today with this. I post about struggling with my own to keep it positive. Good comment, Amanda. I love that you said that because I think people post problems without solutions. I think people post negativity just to post negativity. But when you can share something that is so raw and real, but the solution you had with it or the realization you had from it, the change you had from it. I posted about getting the scale back in my life for these next 21 days. And I just talked about how that was such a bad part of my life and ordering a scale and it coming back to my house. What, you guys, I haven't even checked it. Just the one day I needed to. I don't even feel the desire to do it. It's awesome. I'm so freed from it. But I did have that moment of whatever. So I was sharing that journey with them, but with a solution of like, this is what I'm going to do. But that was such a deep part of my life and whatnot. So when you're sharing struggles, I don't think you should word vomit all of your struggle. I think you can surface it a little bit. So maybe you struggle with confidence. I've talked about jealousy. I've struggled with jealousy and specifically in relationships. And I've talked about that before. And I just need to tell you how many women can relate. Women are territorial and they're jealous. I really think that's how they are. So when you can share and talk about that and talk about how you are finding your confidence like in other ways, I think that's going to be really helpful. What do you do if you are a picky eater and the meal plans have things you don't eat? Great question. So in this test group, there are people who are paleo. You have people in there that are all different things. They don't eat dairy. They can't have gluten. And in this meal plan, there's dairy and there's gluten. So you can substitute. So they're not going to have the yogurt. They're not going to have the gluten that's in there, and that they're going to replace it with something else, if that makes sense. So when you're following a meal plan, just like the 3-day refresh, Liz Colborn mind was blown when I said this. I was like, Liz, you realize the 3-day refresh is going to 900 calories. I try to stick to it. However, if I'm hungry, I'm going to have another serving of veggies. If I'm hungry, I'm going to have another serving of fruit. And she just was like, what? And I'm like, think about it. Your body is actually craving that, and it's healthy food. Like, if you were going to be on the 3-day refresh and go have a thing of pancakes, like that's a whole nother issue. But same with this meal plan. The calorie bracket that I'm in, it's an unlimited amount of veggies. So say I was extra hungry, I could have something else. So it's not something you have to follow straight up to a T. With this one, I'm choosing to, but Sarah Morrison and Trina Gray, they've substituted some things in this meal plan. So just something to be aware of. Any other questions about social media and connection, struggles with connecting, not knowing what to post? I always think about my avatar. I always think about what she's thinking about. And you'll see me posting quotes throughout the day because my avatar needs that. Maybe your avatar doesn't need that. That's fine. She's not a big bubbly, like needing that inspirational, motivational stuff. My avatar does. Like, it just like is the thing in the middle of her day because she's scrolling the news feed. That's what my avatar does. And because that was me, that's just something that she needs to see. and I'm gonna hit her at her core. Like I'm gonna be right there in her face, and it works. Like she reaches out to me. She, as in a lot of women, reach out to me and just say something. Any other questions with your social media? I was talking to Kim Meyer today, and she was feeling really stuck. She's at Success Club Zero. I'm at Success Club Zero. And she's like, I know what I need to do to get there. And I said, girlfriend, I've been there. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing different things. So today I made a graphic. I don't normally do this, you guys, but I was like, I have to do something different because what I'm doing right now is not creating the traction that I would like. So I made a graphic. Some of you might have seen it. Let's see right here. So this is what I'm talking about. My avatar needs something like this. Make a commitment that whatever happened to you in the past does not define you. My avatar struggles with that. I got that from I Am That Girl. But I did this. My avatar needs to lose weight. My avatar needs to tone up too. My avatar wants more confidence. And she struggles with staying consistent, and she feels like she's tried everything. I didn't just post that to everybody. I posted that to the old me, and did this talking about my self-love thing. So these are all the people I'm going to message who aren't coaches, and the people that I'm going to comment back to. So I don't normally do that, but I was like, I have to do something different right now, right? I'm going through this transformation of not using filters, so I purposely filtered 2 of mine and then 1 without it, of my Transformation Tuesday. So again, just trying to speak to my avatar who only use filters, right? I don't post a lot of workout videos, but I am just to show my journey. I'm just trying to engage with people. I'm trying to ask them questions. She needed to hear that manifesto. Going live is where it's at, to be honest. I would not tell new coaches to use stock photos. But I've built a tribe. I've built a following. My people get me, right? So question, very important. How long does it take you to fold and put your laundry away? It had everything to do with my Snap story. If you saw my Snap story yesterday, it made sense to my followers there. And then it was a hilarious thing. I had a ton of people snapping me back because I said, swipe up if like what you do you fold it in a day or do you wait? And they're all swiping up and telling me. And then on Facebook, like we're all just laughing about it. But that's something that my avatar got. So I'm not just posting that to post for myself. I'm posting it to the girl who gets me, right? So my avatar needed to hear this the other day. And you guys, it's me needing to hear this. Are you getting it? Like I'm posting for me, but I'm posting for her because I know she needs this. Repeat, I am enough, I am enough. These are all people I could message. These are all people I'm connected with. People are following my journey for the Shift Shop. I talked about today on my Choose Happy, talk about your struggles. Don't make your workouts a breeze. If your workout is a breeze, you need to do a harder workout. You should be huffing and puffing. You should be sweating. You should be saying, why in the heck am I doing this? I don't want to do it. And then you do it and you're like, oh, I feel great. So today I said, dude, and I like to break up my text. If you notice that, I break up my text in the text in the way that my mind works, the way that it reads, right? Dude, breaks, pause, out of breath. Do you think of yourself as a failure if you can't do every single rep or move? Do you guys get this in challenge groups with challengers who just get off the challenge group because they missed one day of working out or they modified the whole thing so they found themselves as failures? Speak to them on your social media. I want my people to know I take breaks all the time. That's why I love going live. I love going live because my people will see me huffing and puffing, taking breaks, laughing, joking, like doing whatever. I don't want them to think I can just breeze through it. My avatar can't do that. As long as you finish the workout, I think you're a freaking boss. Change your thinking, change your life. Chasing perfectionism will only frustrate you. I'll be straight up with you. My alarm went off and I stayed in bed for an extra 30 minutes. I took so many breaks today, but I finished the workout. No matter what, I will finish it. I hope this post brings you hope. If you need to hit pause or catch your breath, it's all good. Celebrate how far you've come and realize that working out is about being better than others. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. And I just shared that. Share the real stuff. Share the stuff that went through your head during your workout today. Or when you're eating your meal plan and you're just like, I want Oreos. Like share that stuff because your person's going to be struggling with that. And that's going to give you the most connection with those people, if that makes sense. How do you come up with different pictures you take? I will take at least 4 or 5 pictures in a row with different poses. So it's usually from a workout move. I always flex in most of my pictures. The reason I always flex in most of my pictures, I don't know if some of you guys know this, I've shared it a couple of times. The reason I post and flex in my pictures is because before my journey of Beachbody, I was chasing skinny. That's all I could think about. That's all I ever wanted to be. That's why I counted calories, yo-yo dieted, checked the scale 3 times a day, and then drowned my sorrows in a bag of Cheez-Its on the way home from the grocery store. And I would promise myself I would keep them around for 2 weeks, but I would eat it all in one sitting. So the reason I flex in all my pictures is because I'm chasing strong. I'm chasing the process. And so not all of my followers know that. I know that though. And that's why I flex, not to show you guys my glorious, huge, very toned muscles. It's just for me of like, Julianne, you do this because you're stronger now and you didn't always want to do this. So when you want to give up, when you don't want to get your workout in, when you're a little sleepy, you don't want to revert back to who you used to be. So get your butt out of bed. That's my flex muscle. Thank you, Mariah. So Kristen, good question. So I will set the timer on my phone for 10 seconds. I'll flex. I'll do a mirror one. I love setting the timer. I did a bear crawl today with a kickback and a side view of it, and then was like, this is just how it's going to be. My lighting in my workout room is not good. I don't care. It's kind of yellowy, but that's when I work out. That's where I'm taking my picture. And I'm not going to fake that. So that's what I do for those pictures. For other ones, I have a candle. I used to prop my phone up on a toilet in my old place in Milwaukee because it had a blank wall behind me, and set the timer and on the toilet, and then go stand in front of the toilet and do a pose or something. I try to find, I'm borrowing this Diva light. It's awesome. My friend Bobby left it here. He's in the test group, but you see that wall right there? That's where I take all my pictures now. And I prop my phone up, if that makes sense. Thanks. My glasses are screen protecting ones. So hopefully you're talking to me when you said that. Anyone else with social media? You guys can unmute yourselves too. As far as connection, think connection. If you feel like you're not having people, you're not feeling connected, it's because you're not sharing you. You're just sharing workouts. You're just sharing like the stuff that people can see, but they want to see your heart. So how can you show them your heart? How can you show them your mind? How can you show them that stuff? That's where people are going to connect with you. They're not going to connect with you because you've lost 30 pounds. They're not going to connect with you because you toned up. They're not going to connect with you because you completed the ultimate reset. They're going to connect with you because you're just sharing your victories and your struggles, and you're just getting inside their heads. Get in the heads of other people that get that. So do you still stick to the foods on the container list? For the Shift Shop one, yes, because the Shift Shop one, you guys, is amazing because the food list for the week is printed next to the week versus a huge massive list. So bi-weekly, it has each individual food list for the week. So you can literally just go with that list, and it'll say get 1.9 pounds of salmon. And you get that at the store, and it is the perfect amount for your containers. It's awesome. And I'm hoping they're going to do that to every meal plan with Beachbody. Because I was just like, this is the easiest thing I've ever had to follow. So I've been sticking 100% to them this time, and I'm on day 2. And I've been a coach for 3 years. All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions with social media. Just connect with the heart, connect with the minds of the people who are struggling, and think about what your struggles were before Beachbody. If you've been a coach for a day or a coach for 3 years, how are you transforming now? What's your transformation? My transformation is following a meal plan. Last week, you don't have to have a new transformation each week, but you get the point. So what I just started transforming through was not using the pretty filter on Facebook, or on Snapchat. I'm not kidding. That was I know I keep bringing that up, but it was the real deal to me. I was finding myself more attractive in the pretty filter than in real life. So I shared that journey. And now it's this meal plan. So what you'll see on social media on my like page is all my meals, and I'm sharing them constantly, and people are loving that. So what are you transforming? in your challenge groups. Today I made a post in my challenge group. It's day 2. I said, how have you already transformed? It's day 2. You started your program, but how do you feel different? You have to connect with how you feel right now, because that's what's going to keep propelling you forward. I had a coach message me today, and she said, she's a new coach, and she said, I cannot tell you how different I feel because I joined this community. And this is someone who told me no for a really long time, someone who had been in a million sneak peeks. And I said, do you wish you would have started sooner? And she said, hands down, yes. This is the best I've ever felt. This workout is hard, but it makes me feel alive. It was amazing. It was really incredible. When you are speaking to people, I'm going to talk to you about objections. And I definitely want you to open up the lines for the objections you're handling, and I can coach you through it right now. Biggest thing is this. If you're not getting objections, you're not having enough conversations. Evaluate how many conversations you are having a day. For me, I can get really lazy with it, and I can heavily rely on my social media, and then I'm in a spot where I'm frustrated. It's an unending cycle. It happens to me all the time. And so I just want you to be very transparent with that. Like, I have relied a lot on my social media before. Have you guys done that? I'm sure you have. You're probably like, oh, thank goodness Julianne said that, because then now it makes me feel better. But it's the truth. So, but the thing, you guys, if your goal, what is your end goal in this? Is it to hit Success Club? Is it to make an income? You have to hear me out. When you hit Success Club and make an income in this business, and your heart is in the right place in this business, and you have integrity in this business, you are going to make an impact. You are. That's just a done deal. But if you're serious about doing something with this business and no BS in it, like straight up, I see people do this all the time. I've been around long enough to see it. What do you want from this? So that's what you have to ask yourself. And then what are you willing to do with it? So I want this. Non-negotiable in my business is to hit Success Club, and non-negotiable in my business is to add 2 PS coaches a month. It is like following a workout plan. It is following a nutrition plan. It is just hands down going to happen. Is it like that for you, or is it iffy? We'll see what happens. I would say that's a confidence thing. I would say it's a fear thing, and it could be a lazy thing. For the times I'm struggling in this business are very much connected to I don't feel like doing it, and I'll post on social media instead. I'm just being straight up transparent with you. However, I get it done. I make it happen. I kick myself in the pants. I remind me of my why, my mission, and my vision, and I get it done. So evaluate how many conversations you're having. Are you relying on social media? Sorry, my allergies are really bad again here. Speaking with confidence, do you believe specifically that Shakeology and these workout programs will do something for someone? And do you believe that this community, not necessarily the coaching community, which I think is hands down the greatest ever, your challenge group will change someone, influence them? It has to. You're on this call. It happened to you, right? When you are going into your conversations, you need to go in there like, this is the solution I have for you. This is what you will do. And you're not going to be a jerk about it. You're not going to say, yep, like you're not going to come in there and just be super salesy and rude. You're going to build that relationship. You're going to do that stuff. But when I see people on Facebook saying like, I feel like I've tried everything, I just need to do this, I'll message them and say, hey, if you're serious about this, I have a solution for you. And this is what it is. If you're really willing to commit fully to this, I would love to help you. That's how I present myself in my conversations. When someone says, hey, I want more information, I message them. We can build a relationship. And if I tie it back, I'll go back to it. Even if there's not a good like bridge to tie it back, I'll find a way to tie it back. I'll say, by the way, I know you reached out to me. I know you commented below. I know that we had been talking about this. I can't help but share what's on my heart right now. And what's on my heart is this. You need this. This is why you need this. This is what it's done for me. This is what it's going to do for you if you go 2 feet in. If you actually commit yourself into this, and if you're willing to overcome those limiting beliefs that you're struggling with, if you're serious about this, you will do this. I talk like that. And I really do believe that. The reason I really do believe that is because of what it's done for me. That's how you'll see me over social media. That's how you'll see me in my conversations. This is the solution I have for you. When someone's saying, you know, oh, well, then they'll give me a price objection or whatever. And I'll tie it back to the same thing. I understand that the price is hard for you. You're not alone. Many people have struggled with that. But I can't help but think that maybe that's why you're not getting the results that you've been craving. I can't help but think that's why you're still where you're at. And I know that this is going to be different. And that's how I speak. And then therefore, it's my obligation to get this person started right. That when they join my accountability group, that when I'm messaging them and building them up, that I am helping guide them. I'm not holding their hands, but I'm elevating their thinking. I'm believing in them before they believe in themselves. And I even say that, hey, sometimes it just takes someone to believe in you before you can believe in yourself. But what I want to change and what I want to help with you is having you start to believe in yourself. I talk like that. That is what I say. Hey, I know you're struggling with confidence right now, so it's really big on my heart that we start working on your confidence. Do you guys have questions about speaking confidently to other people and the importance of it? Does that make sense? Is that better than kind of going like, do you want to try this? Would you be interested? I'll say things like this. Hey, I'm going to tag you in a video. I'm going to send you a video. Let's see if this is a good fit for you. I almost make it like, I don't know yet. I'm not sure if I want you part of this yet. Like, I'm not sure if you're fully committed yet. Like, that's how I come off, where they're like, wait, like, no, I am committed. Because here's the deal. The worst feeling in the world is when someone joins you and they don't do it. They don't do the workout. They don't drink Shakeology, and they stay in the same mindset. I hate it. You guys have had that. I've had people commit, fired up, and just back out. But at the end of the day, I know I've led with integrity. I've been there. I have given them the resources. I've given them me. And at the end of the day, I can't make someone do this. But it is really hard when they don't. But at the same time, you can't stop because of the person who gave up on themselves and isn't allowing someone else to influence them. People are going to do that, and it's going to be very frustrating. But you have to keep going and speak with the confidence. I think speaking in confidence in your conversations is going to take you to the next level. So objections, our favorite thing. They happen all the time. They should be happening all the time. I love objections. They are my favorite thing. If you see me doing an objection post on social media, it's because someone gave me an objection. And you probably see me do objection posts all the time. I love it. I love being able to do that because you have to understand this. You all said yes too. I said yes. So I know what this is going to do for them. They don't know yet. I feel like it's a brick wall. You're throwing a rope over and you're just like, just hold on to the rope. I swear. When you come over this wall, you are going to see the most magnificent thing, but they don't know it yet. They can't see it. Their thinking is, I don't want to say tiny where it's like making them a lesser person. That's not what I mean. You just have to understand your mind has been exposed to a different way of life. Your mind has been exposed to this phenomenal community of people that are incredibly supportive and wonderful and uplifting and encouraging, and a world that is opposite of that, right? We all have that in our workplaces. Not mine. I work from home and I work with all you. But you know what I'm saying, where they just don't know yet. So how can you bring them to a thinking that's up here? So how I do that, I handle objections publicly. I might say, Shakeology is not expensive. This is why. I might talk about a lot of skepticism. Rebecca made a post. Did you guys see this? She's a new coach on our team, and I told her to do it. It made me laugh so hard. She made a post about how she was such a skeptic and thought my posts were annoying on Facebook. Isn't that like the best ever? Like, she even told me that when she messaged me, and she's like, I just need to tell you this. And I loved every second of it because it was real. That's why I loved it. I'm not going to hold that against her. She's being authentically raw. And I knew that what this community was, and she just didn't understand it. But what she did is her coming out post was, this is what she said. It was awesome. She said this, and this is just straight up handling objection the first day as a coach. I'm a skeptic and a critic. I care a lot about what other people think and what they think of me. I also judge quickly and sometimes harshly. If you asked me a month ago if this picture would have happened, I would have laughed in your face. I followed this girl on Facebook, but judged her for sweaty selfies and constant Facebook posts. Sorry, Julianne, but you know it's true. Then I moved to a place, and she talks about how she moved to a place where they don't value women. So I turned to my friend Julianne, the one I judged, because I knew she had overcome these things before and had success in helping people. I wanted to learn from her so I could better help people around me. I wanted to take care of myself better so I could keep pouring into those around me. I'm an all-in kind of person. So she's showing these people she's not going to quit. People expect you to quit. They do. When you go off the grid, they're happy. And then when you're on the grid, judgmental, right? It just doesn't make any sense. But when you go off, like, people legitimately want you to fail. That is human nature. I don't know why they're like that, but they do. And then when you are present and rocking your self-care, they're judgmental. It's because they're insecure, and that's what you have to do to elevate your thinking. But for her to write that is huge. Like, I'm not going anywhere for all of you skeptics out there. I took the plunge into working on my own lifestyle habits. And she just talks about that. She freaking handled that as a new coach. And I just need to say, I think that that is going to be, oh, Katie, thanks for sharing this. I get caught up in wanting to offend. Yes. Yeah, for sure. So when you're posting about objections and you're having these objections, what objection are you guys always getting? Mine always used to be money. Always. It always used to be money. And then I started posting a lot to it. I started posting about, I was an underpaid teacher. I started talking about money and time. Time is, for that one, seriously, like, time is like, okay, money, like, I get it. But, like, time, like, come on. So start posting. You guys are all busy. Look at this. We're all friends here. We all are getting the money and time. I get the money and time thing too. But that's when you start sharing your journey step by step. Man, today was a long day. All I wanted to do was go home and watch Netflix. But instead, I pressed a different kind of play. I did my all-access Beachbody on demand and rocked my workout. You know what? I have 20 extra minutes to spare. After my workout, I'm going to watch a show real fast. People, do a poll on your wall. Hey, question. How many of you have Netflix? What's your favorite show on it? See who all comments on it, and then you'd be like, oh, you have Netflix and you've turned me down. Like, that's what I do, how I breadcrumb. I'll do things that have nothing to do with fitness or objections, but almost like, like, let's see what all my busy people are up to. How many of you have Netflix? How many of you do this? What's your favorite show you're binge watching right now? That one's always really fun because you do have people who have told you no. Where's your favorite place to shop? Do all stuff for people who have told you no about money. And you're like, weird. Like, you shopped at this place that literally doesn't serve your body. Like, you'll see me do things like that have a complete purpose of me understanding my Facebook people, understanding my audience, where I know what I need to speak truth into them and be aware. I ran a challenge group that was called This Is Us Challenge Group. It was specifically on couch potatoes. What do I call myself? Couch to coach. My challenge group was geared towards people who binge watch TV. It was awesome. So for these people who binge watch TV, my rule was you work out before you watch TV. Get to know your people. On average, how many times are you guys on Facebook? Ask that question. When I have people who tell me no because of time, I'll say, hey, like, do you ever find yourself on social media, like, scrolling the news feed ever? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, you have time. I literally say that in my conversations. You'd be I word it a little differently. You would be so surprised. I'm going to teach you how to have more time in your day. We all have 24 hours. That's really what I want to say. But I'm going to teach them how to do this. But you're also walking the walk. Shoot. If you're constantly getting objections about time, I would be posting about that all the time. I'd be talking about meal prepping and how meal prepping saves time. I would talk about my 22-minute workout and how it saves time. I would talk about how I'm not unplugging and not going on social media to save time. I would talk about all these things about time. I would talk about Shakeology and how it takes 2 minutes and it takes no time. I would talk about how whatever. I would just be drilling out the time thing all the time because that's my avatar. If that's, why did you not become a coach? Like, what did you not become? For me, I became a coach right away. I didn't even know how much Shakeology was. I'm not joking. I didn't even ask. I wish there were more of us like that. Don't you feel me? But there was a reason that was my journey. But I can speak to other people. Like, I remember being a full-time teacher. Eric even said, he's like, how did you make time for Rock the Basics? Because he's a teacher right now doing Rock the Basics. And I just said, well, I sacrificed things. I stopped watching TV. I stopped watching football on Sundays. Some of you Wisconsin people are thinking I'm crazy. I know, but I did. That was the sacrifice I made. That was the only time I could do Rock the Basics and catch up and get all that done. Does that make sense? Some of you are in school. Some of you are the most busy people I've ever met in my life, and your people have ejection of time. Don't you want to laugh in their face because you're like, you don't have time. I don't have time. Well, instead of not saying anything, say it all the time on your social media. That's what your avatar needs to hear. As far as the money goes, break down the volume. Well, do you call them out? Oh, yeah, I sure do. I keep speaking to them on social media. So here's an example. Someone told me she became a coach. She just messaged me. I'm so pumped for her. Like, she's like, this is my goal. I'm like, get it, girl. She said she could not become a coach because she didn't want to blow up people's news feeds. So in Julianne fashion, I went live that titled, I don't want to blow up people's news feeds. I'm not joking. I totally did. And I just talked about, well, why in the heck would we not want to blow up people's news feeds with positivity? Like, what, we should be going against the norm of this negativity stuff in the world. Like, straight up did that. And then she messaged me back, hey, I saw your live feed today and it makes a lot of sense. Because what I said to her was like, oh, are you afraid of being judged by people? And she said, no, I'm not afraid of judgment. And I'm like, oh, no, you are. And so then I went live about it. I don't think I went live like the second after our conversation, but I'm pretty sure it was in the same day. She became a coach. I didn't trick her. I was just being straight up. So yes, Erica, I called them out. And girlfriend, I think that is just going to be your favorite thing. And so when I call people out, though, it is with so much gentleness and love. It's not like red, like harsh. It's just like, oh no, I believe it. Like, nope. Like, this is what I think, and handle it. So I don't have enough money. I don't have this. And I'll just say, hey, like, do you find yourself shopping at Target, or do you find yourself going to Starbucks a couple times a week? I'll ask those questions and they'll say yes. And I'm like, you know, I did too. And so what I did to do this is I stopped doing that stuff, which is so true. I used to go to Starbucks every day in the morning to grab a caramel frappuccino. And then I would go to Panera and get a bagel. So I did stop doing that stuff. And then I had more money, right? I was even thinking about it, meal prepping. I need to share this. Eric and I meal prepped for the entire weekend. Our grocery bill list was probably $100 more or more, maybe $150 more. And I'm like, I literally was like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating. And then I thought, but how much do you spend on the weekends? I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you how much we spend on the weekends for food when we go out with friends. We were probably spending way more than $150, but the thing was, I wasn't seeing it in bulk. I tasted my own freaking medicine, right? So I need to post about that. Like, I know we're going to be saving money because of Shakeology. Educate people. But don't just call them out and be like, oh, Erica said this to me today. Just be like, hey, like, lately I've been getting a couple messages of people worrying about time. Like, it's just really on my heart to share with you how you need to make this in your time. Like, that's how I would approach it. Or just like, hey, can I just share this with you real fast? Like, I know that's what you think, and like, I can't help but tell you about my friend Julianne. Or, you know what I mean? Or just be like, I just know people who have felt that exact same way. So if my story can't connect to them, I connect them to another story of one of you guys and then share that. But going live about objections is huge. Going into your conversation with handling the objection is huge. Have you ever thought about that? So someone says, hey, I'm interested in your boot camp. Hey, Steph, thanks so much for messaging me about Flex Yourself, our self-love muscle boot camp. I'm so excited to tell you more about it. Man, I remember when I first joined my first boot camp and I was really concerned about the time commitment and the cost. I don't know, I'm just throwing an objection out there that you guys struggled with. But what I realized and what I learned through this process is, one, my health and my happiness, you can't put a price on it. But this community I've been exposed to absolutely changed my life. I'm so pumped to share more with you. I already handled it. I already said it's going to be this much money, right? Like I already did this, or I might change the wording and be a little more blunt about it. That's why I like making videos about the price. Excuse me. I'll go live, go through the all access. So I'll title it something else, but I'll say, oh my gosh, and I'll do a live video with my phone, and then I'll have on demand up, and I'll go through on demand, and I'll explain that there's over 500 workouts on demand. I'll talk about how the challenge pack used to be $200, but even that was a steal. I'll talk about that my workouts all together cost over $600 before this, right? I don't know. I'm just saying things. And I'll walk them through on demand and be like, it is so awesome. This is what I do every day. So you guys seeing me walk the walk, do this process. This is what I'm using. And I drink Shakeology every day. And then I tell them about Shakeology on my live feed. And then all the time people know how much I rarely have those objections. I did have one the other day of the price. She must have been a new friend to my network. Probably once every few weeks, I'll go live about the all access and walk people through it. I don't care if they see it or not. And then I'll tag people under it if they ask me how much it is, or if they ask me about it. Cause I'm like, I explain it way better in my live because they can actually visually see it. Does that make sense? Maybe going live isn't your thing. So have you ever considered doing a Zoom recording and going through the all access, talking about Shakeology, talking about why the price the way that it is? You guys, with a bag of Shakeology and they get the all access for $30 for a year, that literally is insane. Shakeology, if you are listening to the podcast about Shakeology and learning about what this superfood nutritious shake does for you, everyone needs to do this. Everyone. So you need to educate yourself, but then talk to people about it. And then kind of like make fun of the fact that people are worried about the price. Like make it seem silly. Like, yeah, people usually freak out about, I say this in my live videos, people freak out about the price. Oh my goodness. And I'll like say that, and then I'll like joke with them, and then I'll be like, but let me tell you about it. So I kind of like validate that they're a little scared by the price. And I talk about, if you go to Starbucks every single day, and then on the 30th day ask for a refund, they look at you like you're nuts. They would look like you are a crazy lady. If I were to see my gas bill or my gas, how much we pay for gas, all totaled up the last 3 months, I would probably pass out, right? If I were to see my grocery bill for the entire month all added up together, the reason we're freaking out, people, is because we're seeing it all in bulk. Let me break it down for you. This is a steal. I always say that. And I'm like, I upgraded to it. I'll say that. I'm walking the walk. I don't want you just to do this. I'm going to do it regardless if you join me. That's how I present myself, because it's true. I'm going to do it regardless, right? This has changed my life. So that's what I talk about that. So in your objections, think about the one you're getting the most and post about it all the time. When I say all the time, like a couple times a week, find ways of like, man, I was feeling really stressful because of my busy schedule today, and I knew the one thing that would help me would be working out. Oh man, I wanted to hit my alarm or snooze today because I was up extra late because studying for this exam. Like find different ways of like showing people that you're tired too, that you're working too, that you're feeling this way too, but you guys know that working out and eating healthy like helps that. And like make that an obvious thing where this doesn't make any sense, you guys. The world comes crashing down, life is stressful. Get rid of your self-care. That doesn't make any sense. Like you're only going to dig yourself into a deeper hole, right? Show people that. And then I'm always thinking like, well, you're complaining about it. Are you going to do something about it? I don't say it quite like that, but I mean, it's true where it's like, maybe you say like, man, I used to complain about it all the time and that just didn't get me any results. me complaining all the time for some reason just didn't change the way that I felt about myself. So then I decided to do something about it. And lo and behold, I feel amazing now. I have way more confidence. But isn't that so relatable? It took me a long time to find the thing that worked, right? So speak to them. Do you guys have any other questions about objections? Don't overcomplicate objections. They all happen. Fortune in the follow-up. If someone gives you an objection, a price, a time objection, say this. If it's not connecting with them, say, hey, you know what? Would it be okay if I contacted you a month from now to check in with you to see if my next boot camp would be a good fit for you? And they'd be like, yes. When they say yes to that, you know that they want in eventually. So then that whole month you're going to post to them. They don't know that yet. And then you're going to check in with them and be like, oh my gosh, Steph, I'm so excited to check in with you. How have you been, sister? Or people that are on my dream team list that keep telling me no. Oh man, they tell me no all the time. I'll just say, hey sister, how's it going? Hey sister, what's life like? Hey sister, every week. Hey, how you doing? I miss you. How's that class going? And I'll just keep building that relationship with them. For the money objections, I make videos for my challenge groups that breaks down the price. So I make a what is my boot camp video. I make an objection video about time, and you guys listen to objection videos on YouTube too. I listen to them. I used to listen to them all the time to get more acquainted with them and how to handle them. Bonnie Engel has a really good one. And then in that third one, I think showing the value. You guys, people don't know what Beachbody On Demand is. You know it's greatness. You know it's amazing. You can talk about it. You can show a picture of it. It's not showing the depth of it. When you go live, show a video of it and just really get in your free groups. Go live in there then if you're not comfortable on your Facebook page, and go live. Open up On Demand. Flip the screen of your phone and be like, you guys got to check this out. Like, let me show you the meal guides. Let me show you all the workouts. Let me show you what I'm doing. And then break down the price in that video. I think when they can hear your voice, it's huge. When someone says, oh, that's too expensive, I don't have money for that. Be like, you know, honestly, can you add your favorite? Yep, I can. I think we have some in the resources page too, but I can definitely find that. But if you guys, I'm assuming if you're getting those objections, you had those same objections. Talk about that just like Rebecca talks about how she was a huge skeptic because she thought it was annoying that she saw my posts. So she talks about that, handled it. It was amazing. So be like, man, before I started this journey, my top excuse was, I don't have the money. Your tribe has the same one. Be honest with them and be like, you know what it was is I was so stuck, so numb. I wasn't where nothing was working and I had nothing to lose by doing this, and I gained everything. A new mindset, a positive community. I'm falling in love with working out. I'm learning so much about myself. Talk about that. And then when the people say like, it's too expensive, just say, hey sister, like, I can relate to you. This is how I felt. And I just can't help but share with you that I know that's scary to make that financial commitment, but everything you've seen on my journey, I was the same way you were, and I wish I would have started sooner. I think that that connecting with them is going to be huge. I don't get the money objection all the time anymore because I post about it all the time. Like going live about the All Access and Shakeology, and people are like, oh, that's a steal. It is. I really think it is. So when they message me, they're like, wow, like I'm in. I would say my number one objection, but I don't know how to word it, is confidence. They don't join because they're afraid to fail. So I post about failure all the time. I post about that stuff all the time. All right. Do you all have any questions? I'm just so pumped that you made it on. I just am so incredibly excited. How do you explain why you are a coach? So I talk about coaching all the time, you guys. Why are you a coach? Why did you become a coach? For me, I became a coach because of the community, and I've stayed a coach because of the community. I decided to become a coach because I needed a change, and I stayed a coach because of the community. I decided to become a coach because I kept jumping on the scale 3 times a day. I became a coach because I was stuck in my own skin. I became a coach because I was stuck with so much comparison. I became a coach because I didn't know what else to life there was. I remember sitting on my desk, a student's desk, at the end of the day when all my kids were gone, just sitting there and they're exhausted and looking around and said, is this it? Is this going to be my life for the next 30 years? I had no passion. I loved teaching, but something was missing. I was all teaching and nothing else. And I mean, I love teaching. And I think if you're a teacher, like, man, it's amazing. But you know that can consume your entire life. You need something else too, right? Just as much as a mom can't just be only a mom, right? They need to be something else too. And for me, this gave me friendship. It's crazy, you guys. My Punta Cana trip, not one friend from my like best friend group asked me about it. My new friends in San Jose did, and my entire coaching community. On my last day of teaching, we always do this circle before the kids come. And I remember it was my last day of teaching. I was feeling very emotional and sad. And they didn't even make an announcement in the circle that I was leaving. But my phone was blowing up with Beachbody people saying, hey, I know today's hard. I'm praying for you today. And then in that moment, I knew I made the right decision. That is why I became a Beachbody coach, was for this community. And I think if you don't feel that yet, you need to connect with that. You need to show up to Zooms. You need to reach out to people. You need to go to live events. What about non-objections? What do you mean, Lisa? If you could help.
So I have like a handful of people that I've been talking to since like November, where two of them, they already are very into fitness and already post about it. One of them's a trainer. She posts about like she has a 1-year-old. So I'm like, you could like she wants to stay at home with her 1-year-old. That's what she puts in her post. And she's always been like, yeah, I really want to help people. Yes, like every challenge group I've had since the fall, she said yes to, but then never followed through. I've had other people the same thing. They'll just keep giving me thumbs up. They'll keep saying yes. And then like I'll add them to the group because then I feel bad because I'm like, well, really I wanted you to buy the all access before adding you. And then one person is like, well, I work at the gym. Like I work out at the gym. And I like handled that objection. And gave her examples of people on our team that do that. I don't know. This weekend I was just like really frustrated because I have a lot of people that they could all be coaches, but no, there's no movement. And it's like, I just want to be like, look, just do it. Like you need it. I want to be really blunt, but I don't want to like scare them away.
I do that all the time. I say, you need to do this, and this is why. I would not add them to your challenge groups anymore if you feel like that they're abusing it. Like they're going to get in for free no matter what, right? When you treat your business.
They don't even like interact. And it's just like, I don't know when to like give up on them. Maybe they're not like.
You not adding them to
aligned with my avatar. I don't know.
Not adding them to a group doesn't mean you're not giving, or you're giving up on them. Not adding them to a group means that you're taking your group like, this is going to be a group that gets results and participates, and you're setting that standard. That is why I always used to do anyone can be in my group. And then I started to realize, wait, I drink Shakeology every day and I do the workouts every day. And I'm pouring a lot of time and love into this. I should not feel guilty about that. And so now it's like, nope, like this is how it is. And I remember segueing into that was really awkward. When you're talking to them and just be like, hey, like, I just have to ask you, what's holding you back from coaching? I just know that you like would be so good at this, and I'm just curious. I would say that. Sarah Freed the other day said this to someone who was awesome. She got this from Get Over Your Damn Self. I think, Mariah, was that this book? You can quote me on that. Was, hey, I'm going to keep messaging you until you tell me no. But she didn't just say that. She was like, I know that this is what you need. And like said all this stuff and like compliments to her and said, I am not going to stop asking until you actually tell me to stop messaging you. And the girl was like, no, I do want to do it. It's just like right now it's like life is crazy. And I was like, so like the Get Over Your Damn Self, the actual like, you guys should read that then. That there's scripts in there, right, Mariah? There's scripts in there to help. You want to speak, sister? Share a little bit about that. I know we're going over, so if you guys have to hop off, I totally get it.
Okay, say that again. Sorry. My
No.
husband's taking treatment, so I was like, I couldn't hear that.
No, you're so fine. The Get Over Your Damn Self, is that where the scripts are, or is it Mastering Your Mean Girl of like, hey, I'm gonna continue to message you until you tell me no?
Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl.
Oh, it is? I haven't gotten to that part yet. So what does she say?
She's just like, I'm just going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going, because no matter how many times you ask somebody, like Sarah bringing that up, Sarah asked me for an entire year and I said no. And if I can remember correctly, like one of my coaches on here who is so amazing, Stephanie, I don't know how many years that I've talked to her about this whole situation, and it's like, no. And then finally something happens and it's yes. And guys, when I finally said yes, it completely changed my life. And that's what all of us needed. And I swear, if you think back on how many times your coach, obviously Julianne or me or whoever is on it, Morgan, has asked you, you've said no, unless you're a freak of nature. And you're like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was me and Emily Ann. I think she was the only, like seriously, like the only one on here that was like, Jenny, I think you said no before that, but you had jumped in. So I think it's just that presence, Lisa, and just like, when I believe in someone, I will just straight up say, I know you need this and I want you a part of this all the time. And they'll be like, not yet. And I'll be like, all right. And then I'll say, hey girl, how's it going? But I'm always like that. Talk about that. Like, man, I think people are afraid to do this. Talk about that. There's a comment in here. People laugh at me about being a coach. That's because this is against the norm. This is not a normal thing, but you have to understand what you're doing. If you believe with every ounce of who you are that this is something that can literally transform lives, and how do I know that is because my own. I feel the energy. I've seen it happen. I know what this is doing for people. Where do you get like-minded people like this that dream and encourage each other? Usually people are trying to discourage you from doing things, right? And then therefore them laughing at you is because they're feeling insecure and then they're being judgmental. Well, you know what? The world's going to be negative, but not my world. So I post to that. People laughed at me when I want to start this, but let me tell you what I've gained. It's worth it. It's worth it to me to grow and to be able to do this despite people being negative. And actually, this whole coaching thing has taught me who I need to edit out of my life and who I need to get into my life. The people that are in my life right now, are my inner circle, are the ones that literally make me believe that I can be anyone I want to be. That is how I speak. That is what it is. And I almost call them out. Hey, if you, like I did one where it's like, if it really makes you feel better to zoom in and pick apart flaws on me, and that makes you feel good, sweet, zoom in, do it. I dare you. Either way, I think that's crap. I think that this is what you should do, right? But it's almost like I like acknowledge their thought of like, I remember, I don't want to say his name. This is recorded. He would make fun of me so much, this guy. And I just remember the day I announced I left my job. I didn't talk to him. I didn't even tell him I was leaving my job. But that moment of like, I'm glad I didn't give up because of one comment someone made. Actually, multiple comments someone made. I'm so glad because of what I've been able to do and grow as a person, all because someone was judgmental. And then I realized when people present that, it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you, and that they are so insecure. And if you own it and you're serious, and if you guys have not listened to the National Wake Up Call, one more minute and then I'm off. We're off. That stand in the truth of the core beliefs of like believing in yourself, believing in this company, and not just the products, you guys, but where the direction of this company is going. This company has been around for 18 years. It's not a startup. It's been around for 18 years. Coaching has been around for 10. Every business you see on social media is a startup. Whatever. People can do whatever they want. This business is about health and fitness, real nutrition, not these quick fixes, right? That is something that reduces blood pressure. It helps people get off medications. It does all these things for people and their insides. I don't know how you can make an impact doing other things that have nothing to do that don't serve your body and mind and heart. This business serves all that. It gets you fit in every area of your life. It's helped my faith. It's grown my faith. It's helped me become more bold with my faith, which is so awesome. But when you can kind of just acknowledge that, and then it's the belief in your team. Do you believe in this team? Do you believe in Team Happy and Fit? Do you trust that I'm leading you in a way that I really just like want to be raw, real, honest, transparent with you guys, tread water with you, be in the trenches with you, share the struggle with you, but also share the victories with you, support you, uplift you, encourage you, and then the team itself, right? Where acknowledge those people. Like, I remember these people laughed at me. Man, that's so crazy and so sad that brought them like glorification, that made them feel good for not supporting me, right? Like, that's how I talk, where I'm like, nah, I don't need that. No, thank you. So if people are laughing at you for this, I think you have to know your truth in this. Do you truly believe that you can change your current belief about yourself? Like, maybe it's really hard for you to see success in this, like, because it seems so far away. I have felt that way many times, but I knew I could change that mindset like that and know, like, oh, Sloan said he wins the race. Am I really doing what I need to do to get there? I wasn't in the beginning. You guys didn't see me in the beginning. It was brutal. It was so brutal. I thought I was a business builder. I was definitely a hobby coach. There's nothing wrong with being a hobby coach, but I wanted to be a business builder. I wasn't treating my business like a business. I was treating it like a minimum wage job for a lot of it. And then it clicked. And then once I was serious and I started making real sacrifices, this is what I mean by that. Going up north in Wisconsin where there's hardly any service, standing on a picnic table to get my post in, to wake up early to get my workout done when I had a full day of teaching, right? Get on Zooms, do all these things, be at family events and step away. Like, I definitely believe you have to be unplugged and all that stuff, but I had a commitment, right? Where's your truth in this business? And then handle it. And trust that you're going to get better at handling objections, and trust you're going to get better at social media, and trust that you're just going to become better every day. I look back to day one to now, it's so different. And it just gets better and better and better. And some people are like, but I've been a coach for 2 years. But have you really, like, I know what it's like to be in the trenches, you guys. Like, hopefully you've been able to see me, that I walk the walk, that I'm right there with you in there, that I'm like, I know what it's really like to like be in, you know, and I know what it's like to not. So you have to ask yourself, am I in? And then if you are, believe in your ability to figure it out. And if you're struggling with objections, listen to every video on YouTube about objections. Come to me about your objections and I'll help you handle them. And then people who are critical, I think that they've always been like that, but you never noticed it. But you changed your mindset and now you notice it. That's what I think. I never noticed the negativity in my life until I became more positive. All right, ladies, you all are amazing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for staying on extra late. It's so good to see you. Hey, girl. Hi. All right, you guys, I love you all so much. Have a good one.